Hello, YouTubers. Joe Kersey here again on Tuesday, April 26, 2016, and it's 15:56 in the afternoon Eastern Time. And sometimes it's just sort of like the parade of the absurd around here sometimes. Not this morning, because, Paul got this job. That's great. That's not absurd. That's wonderful. But about an hour ago, I got a call from this insurance agency. Now, I need to give you a little background about insurance agencies. First of all, I'm not a fan of insurance. Anyway, I think in general it's kind of a giant scam. But nationwide insurance for the most part has been, as the baseball guy said, very, very good to me. Bit pricey, but not out of line. And I always thought it had to be, almost had to be born into the company to get a policy. And I talked to a retired vice president of that company in the context of doing EFM. It's a program in the Episcopal Church. And he said, yeah, you really did almost. He said, but they've tried to expand it now, and they started advertising on TV. They used to never advertise on TV. But anyway, it was Nationwide Insurance was formed as an offshoot of the Farm Bureau in the early 1900s. And my dad had Nationwide Insurance, and so I've always had Nationwide Insurance because I was kind of born into the company. All right. Leaving that aside, I've been with this particular agent. I've been with as it turns out now, the office of this particular agent for since around 1980. Well, before I went to Fort Wayne, I was with them. Then they didn't write insurance in Indiana, so I came back, and then they took me back on. And so I've been with these people. I've been with the same agent for this kind of insurance. Standard property, liability, automobile insurance since 1980. Fine, that's great. When on this corner property, when it was no longer feasible to keep a homeowner's policy on it because it was vacant. It was vacant. He got some outfit, which was a subsidiary of Nationwide, to write me this liability policy, $500,000 liability policy. If some guy came in and poked around and fell down the hole or something and decided to sue me, admittedly, even though he was trespassing, he'd still sue you in Ohio. So I carried that for about 5 years, and it was like $560 for a year. All right, that's because you don't dare not have coverage on that kind of stuff. So when it became clear that a time certain had been set for the state to have taken that property, I sent an email to my agent, Mr. McGuire, who has now joined in sort of insurance practice with his two sons. And explained, the state's taken this for a highway project and this, and I won't be needing this new, to renew this sort of, I always refer to it in my mind as this half-assed liability policy, but this out-of-state, because see, that policy wasn't insured under the state of Ohio's insurance fund thing. And you always had to sign something and get it notarized and take it back and say you understood it wasn't covered under that state of Ohio insurance fund. Okay, fair enough. So I did that about 2.5 months ago, and I hadn't heard back from him. I thought, well, okay, no news is good news. Um, but not necessarily. So I got this call today from one of his. Well, I I got this call today from one of his sons. Now, this was a son I hadn't dealt with before, so he must be the younger of the two sons I've dealt with. And it was the same phone number I've always called, so I called that phone number, to tell him about it. And I got this long, sort of voice menu thing. So, okay. So the first time through, I just clicked 0, thinking that generally gets you to a real person. Well, the real person that got me was some very rapidly talking, happy, chatty, teenage young woman in Texas. And I said, I was trying to get hold of my actual agent, I said, I'm sure he's still, at the office. I mean, it's only 3:30, It's not like it's Friday where they cut out, where they cut out at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday. I mean, it's, all right. And she didn't know anything about, do you have the policy number? I said, no. I want to talk to a guy that knows my business. I've done with them I've done business with these guys, So I just said, I'll hang up now and I will call them and try to do it another way. So I called him back. Well, then I clicked 2, option 2. I got the same damn Texas outfit. And somewhere along the line, after I hung up from that little encounter, I got a call back from this guy. Well, no, I don't know how that worked out. No, they actually were able to shift me over to him. The Texas outfit was actually over to shift me over to the office that I dealt with 1.25 miles down the road. Like some sort of great triumph, rather than just me calling them and having them answer the phone. So once I established to him who he was, and who I was, and that I had been a client for well over 35 years, I gave him an earful about this new phone system they've got. I said, just be aware that this is not the way to win hearts and minds. I said, if I had come new to your company, been one of the few people actually let to buy a policy without having been born into the policy structure like I had been. If I'd been only with you guys about 4 or 5 years, after having had this little phone experience, I'd just shift all my policies, insurance to another outfit. And I said, be sure and tell your superiors that, because it's just awful. Don't do that. I mean, don't send people off to Texas when you've got an office 1.25 miles down the road from your policyholder that you have called, that you personally have called, and who has emailed with you, and who has not got an email response back. Let those with ears hear. So maybe things will get changed, maybe things won't. In any case, I said, be aware, do not under any circumstances change my actual homeowner's policy. I can just see some asshole doing some dumbass thing like that. He said, well, we may need to see some documentation about the state taking this property. I said, Yes, I'll be glad to bring it down to you. Just let me know. Just let me know. Just let me know. Yeah, I'll run it down to you instantaneously. Yeah. Yeah, that was my little late afternoon interaction with other human being experience. So I'll say bye-bye, YouTubers.